Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, so we also record like webinars and stuff too. So like recently we had a webinar. Oh gosh, Jason, which webinar did we have? It was
Division 45 conference webinar.
Yeah, Division 45 conference webinar with Cynthia De La Cuentas. So
That's the wrong one.
Never mind.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. So on last Friday, sorry, last Tuesday, we had a webinar with Kevin Coakley and Gigi Awad, and they talked about the Division 45 conference, and also about how to apply, and then the process of like the different kind of presentations that will be at the Division 45 conference. So the call for proposals is live. The link to apply is not live yet. But we have already been circulating the call. I know that's been a lot of questions from the Campus Reps program about like, how do I submit something? Like, when is it ready? Things like that. So those are all linked to the division. It's a weird email, or it's a weird web link. It's like Division 45 conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can also get that link through the division45.org. Which is our traditional website, and get all of that information on that. I thought it was pretty good. They talked about just a lot of things to know, helpful tips and stuff like that, but also like really the importance of just being super precise when you're submitting something. So that's on there. And then the webinar we had this past Friday, which I haven't posted yet because my internet is just not that great. So we did a webinar with Cynthia De La Fuentes, who's also in Austin, Texas. And she did a webinar on private practice. So all of her work is predominantly in private practice. And she talked about like how to start a private practice, things like that. And we're actually going to do a follow-up webinar with her in May on that same topic. So those will all be on the YouTube. And I will be able to link those videos when I post this video as well. So you guys can have access to both.
And I'll email them out too. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. For intros, again, before we get started, just in case you don't know who we're, and we'll kind of go around, just kind of introduce ourselves to if anyone is new here. I'm Gabe, Campus Rep Co-Chair, currently doing my clinical psychology PhD program in Palo Alto University. Just informal stuff. I'm out in California, so it's 9 a.m. for me, and I've been up since 8 doing meetings and stuff. But I got my coffee, so I'm doing okay. But I know someone kind of introduce themselves, like where they're at, and how they're feeling.
I'm Abir Church. I'm at Washington State University. I'm a 5th year, so I just got done with internship interviews. So I'm very happy, actually, because it's nice to be done with that. It's as good as it seems. It's good as you expect to be kind of almost done. And I joined the program last year, and we had the chit chat hour last semester, and it's been going great. So
hey, cool. Hey. No one's going to introduce themselves.
Well, I can go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm Jeanette. I'm a Division 45 rep over at University of California, Santa Barbara. So it's also 9 a.m. over here. I'm a 2nd year in the clinical psychology program, and I apologize if my dog decides to interrupt our coffee chit chat this morning. I've been working on my master's thesis, so it's been quite a busy time, but other than that, it's going pretty good.
Awesome. It's nice to meet you. So my name is Desa. I am Division 45 student representative. I'm like, what do you want to know? I'm really not that interesting. I'm kind of a dork.
Where you're at. Where you coming in from?
Yes, there you go. So I'm at University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm actually in a counseling education program. So I am a counselor by trade, but I love students. So that's why I do all this stuff for Division 45. And this is my 3rd year, I think. as campus rep. So I feel like it's going pretty well. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you all and meet you.
Yay. Well, I am excited to have everyone here for our lovely little hangout this morning. So for the purposes of Coffee Chit Chat, we just kind of keep it informal, kind of talk about anything related to either campus reps or kind of the collective struggle of going through a clinical psych or just any graduate program. Before we get into informal stuff, I feel like there's some good announcements that I definitely want to share with you all. I sent this email out for the Zoom link. In addition to we as Division 45 Student Committee really want to feature you on our Instagram account. So I'm going to type our Instagram account here, and I sent you all a message about what we want to feature in terms of you, if you want to, like just feature a picture of you, who you are, where you're at, your position as a campus rep, and just show the Division 45 community a little bit more of our current campus representatives. So if you want to look at the Instagram, we haven't really started posting people featuring students yet, but we are in the process of doing that. But send out information whenever you can. Let me know if you have any further questions. Anything?
I just saw that, and I saw the
Yeah.
deadline on the 10th. Are we still able to send
Just
things?
send
I
it
saw
in.
that, and I was like, oh man, is one of those things, or just like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, and then everything just piles up.
Stuff comes up and everything. So again, pretty informal. But I think we really want to showcase like what everyone's doing out there. So if you have a chance and if you want to, feel free to do that.
So on that, sorry, Gabe, but
yeah, please.
so we are doing, so for our Instagram account, it's actually going to be Division 45 Student Wednesday. So we're just going to post students on Wednesday. So you have
okay.
plenty of time. It's like, if you send it to me, we'll post it eventually. Like, but I was worried that we wouldn't get enough, so I didn't want to post them on like 1 week and then like just not have any. So every Wednesday we'll feature one of you.
Oh, I like that. That's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will say, we are all on the West Coast, so I am thinking that because last time we had about 10 people, so I'm thinking maybe we'll send the people on the East Coast kind of a reminder as well and everything.
Oh yeah,
okay,
definitely.
I'll
Email them out and everything.
Great.
And second, just because someone has emailed actually this question in terms of campus rep program funding. So some individuals have wondering if Division 45 actually helps fund some programs, and we do. And they said, please correct me if I got this right. We provide funding up to like around $100. We just really need a summary of what the event is, an itemized budget, and a flyer of the event to kind of show that this is like what the event's going on. And essentially we'll reimburse you. So we'll need to know who the reimbursement's going to. Dasa, did I get that right?
Yes. So
yeah, cool.
the processes like that is actually because of EPA, not necessarily because of us. So we just like to give you all that information up front because sometimes $100 can be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so it's fine if it's like your faculty advisor or whoever, but that way we kind of make sure we have that person listed. So once we get that information, your event is done and we get the summary, we can reimburse you like right after. Rather than you like slowly list that information because it takes APA like 2 to 4 weeks.
Exactly.
So we like to just have it already, and then you just send us a summary, and I'll email it directly to the treasurer once we get the summary.
Wonderful. And so does it have to be pre-approved, or is it like one a semester, or?
So you will need to pre-approve your event through Gabe, Darren, and I. So you just email that to us. Because it's also contingent on how much funding we have for the year. But then we can kind of talk about how it fits in the Division 45 mission. If we feel like this is really a good event that represents us and you. And then we can talk about like how much we can fund. So you'll know. So like if your event is say in May, and you got the information to us now, we could be like, hey, we have some extra money, so you're gonna get $125. And then like on May 3rd, after your event's over, we can start your refund process.
Okay. So is there like usually like within, like 6 weeks before, 8 weeks before, like when we want to get that information to you?
So we're usually doing it by a semesterly basis because we'll know how much funding we have for the semester either like in August or in January. So I would say the sooner the better, just so you get a good idea of like how many things we are doing that semester and then how much funding we can offer you.
Okay, great. Sounds good. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Of course.
definitely. I thought that was important information to share with you all. Other than that, that's pretty much it for announcements. And now I just kind of leave it up to everyone. If anyone had any things they wanted to talk about or have questions, concerns that they're really thinking of when coming to the chit chat. If not, we could just hang out, talk about anything in general related to life or psychology.
I have a couple questions,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. So I also have some. So we have 2 events that we would like to do this spring, because a lot of people leave for the summer. So we're gonna do we're in 2 events in the spring, and then probably like wait till the fall for our next event. The first one is we are coupling with our undergraduate research symposium, and we got funding from our graduate school psychological association, or graduate school association, to help fund 10 people that want to participate in the poster session to do something on a diversity related topic. So that was really exciting that we got that. And so we're like kind of hosting on that, and then we're all going to be there as part of like our diversity committee that we're going to try to promote the chapter and all the other things that we're doing. So that was one of the things that I was like interested in terms of like, you know, if there was extra funding, that'd be great, because then we can maybe add a couple posters and just help undergraduates kind of get involved. And we've gotten really good responses so far. We're going to send out an outreach letter, and I want to show you guys, we made an emblem.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we our friend designed it, and you know, we
Whoa.
all gave feedback. So that's actually going to be on our outreach. It was like really exciting. Everyone's like really kind of involved and excited. The one thing I was going to ask, and just making sure that they were okay, it was okay. So someone on our one of the event coordinators on our committee is also part of Division 44. So we were wondering if it was okay if we kind of like combined it as like a chapter, a diversity chapter, including Division 45 and Division 44, whether it was okay that we framed it that way.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
are 100% always excited to do collaborations with other divisions, and so that's completely fine.
Okay, great.
The only time, and I feel like, because we've talked before, I don't have any worries about this, but the only times that we have been cautious about doing collaborations is if the Division 45 is like, so that something can seem multicultural. So like, we don't want an event that's like, so say we're gonna do like an event on basket weaving, and like everyone there is not diverse, and there's no conversations about diversity except for, we're gonna talk about the one like Black American who introduced like a stitch. So like that does not support the Division 45 mission.
Oh yeah, you want it to be genuine, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
otherwise, absolutely, yeah. There's no restrictions on that at all.
Yep.
Great,
Exactly.
great. Yeah, we want to get it as much as possible in terms of like, we want it to be broad, but we also, and that's why so right now, the next thing that we also have diversity talks. So we're actually having a Native American counselor come in and talk about kind of his tribe and his experiences with that. So we're doing more like focus to make sure that we get like all parts of diversity, but, and then, so that's, we're trying to do a blend, but we know that like sometimes it will, one diversity factor will be emphasized more than the other. And we just want to make sure that, you know, that can all be encompassed under our chapter. Okay, great.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and even more like, I'll even piggyback on that. So like, this is when like we want to use our Instagram account. So like, if you send us, or if you send me that photo, and some context about what your event is, we'll post it on Instagram. And so people like won't necessarily go because we're everywhere. They'll know what you're doing, and that gives you an opportunity to like share with other chapters about like how you recruited people or how you got stuff done, things like that. And I know it's kind of a stretch for you since you're on the internship grind.
Yeah.
But once your event's over, if you want to write about it with photos and all of that stuff, you can also submit it to the Focus newsletter, and we'll post it in our newsletter as well.
Oh no! Actually, just so you know, after you apply for internship, it's like a breeze now. Like you're like doing a lot more time now. It's wonderful because like, you know, everything is just like streamlined. I'm like, I'm so excited. I can do, you know, I don't want to do too much, but like it's exciting
So
to
much
have
free
more
time.
Something to look forward to. Great.
sounds,
Okay. So, okay, well, we'll just choose because we have like 3 things this semester because we're picking back off of some things that we were already doing, and then we're just kind of all encompassing under like one big chapter. What other question that I just had quickly, more logistically? So since I'm going on an internship, I'm obviously leaving. So in terms of like, obviously they want to keep doing this. So like how, in terms of like, shifting the
passing the torch.
leadership passing the torch. You know what I was talking about.
Essentially, yeah. So essentially, and this is the way I see it, it's like, so whoever that you're, I guess, ideally someone within your university obviously is going to have the torch passed to them. I guess what we would really like to see is like, I guess maybe, I don't want to say like another full application from them, but kind of like a notification. And probably you might have to have them fill out the application to be a Division 45 representative again, but then just kind of specifying like, I have already been helping out with the committee, like the chapter at my campus so far under a beer, and she's just switching the role over to me, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different process because they don't have to apply from scratch, I think, since you already have a kind of established chapter already. Let me see what the actual file says, but I don't see any issue with it as long as you, and if you choose someone that you feel like can actually hold that torch and continue to maintain activities on the campus, and I see no issue with it. I think it would just be helpful for us to get more specific information about them.
More information.
And
who
that
wouldn't
they
be
are.
till the summer. Like I've
totally
also
fine.
be here.
Yeah, so you have all the way until the end of the year in the summer to figure that out. But absolutely, yeah. It sounds like you've done a pretty good job to try to already establish your committee or your chapter on your campus and get it going. So yeah, it really sounds.
I want to continue it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing too.
Still a really big part because that was one of the main motivators because we were just doing admissions, like diversity admissions initiatives, and now it's so broad. Yeah, so it's exciting. I want to keep it I want to keep the name, and I want to keep the support, and so okay, great, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. So it's also something to consider. So we do have what is the name of it? It's a Toy Caldwell Award for Division 45 on student advocacy and leadership. Your chapter may want to apply for it, and we give that out at we give that out at APA conference. So we do have student awards, and your chapter would like get a plaque if you guys won, but it's also just a different way to
highlight.
Yeah, last year we gave it to the Black Lives Matter Psychologists for Black Lives student group.
Oh, cool. That's wonderful. It's a good way to get that recognition and kind of keep everyone motivated to do more. And that's wonderful. Thank you for letting me know about that.
You're welcome.
Of course. Well, it sounds like all your programs or the planning for the programs have been going well, so it's nice to hear that.
I mean, I think I got lucky because we were just already so motivated because we're just such in like a homogeneous area that like it's like we have to get some sort of like training, and because we're all very passionate about it, so we have to get other ways of getting that information in here.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in Washington is just very I mean, it's not too conservative or anything, but it's just and it needs a lot more integration and everything. So
definitely. Well, thank you. It's nice to hear your progress going so far. We would love to see like little summary of kind of like what's been going on, and we would love to share that with the other campus reps too. I'm sure they would love to see what's been going on because everyone has different on different pathways at different campuses. So our first talk is on Wednesday, so I'll definitely send like a little summary and maybe sure.
Okay, great.
Does anyone else have like any other issues that were popping up? Did we mention about different Division 45 conference? That's in July. Yeah, we already talked. Did we not mention it?
I mean, you chatted about it, but I don't actually know much about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's in July. So the proposal form portal is not up, but the outline and the directions to submit proposals are up. It's just not submitting them, but what the requirements and everything. So if those that are interested in actually going to the Division 45 conference, you can actually start looking that up now.
Where is that?
It's in Austin. Yes, look at me, I know things. Yeah, it's in Austin this year. July. Let me double check. July 19th to 21st. The registration is open as well, and so are proposals.
Oh, okay. I was like, registration's open. I didn't post registration.
Early 2018, not for proposals. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Cool. Hey. Jeanette, how is stuff going in Santa Barbara? If you don't mind, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Just hi.
No, it's okay. I just had to mute my mic because my dog won't stop crying. So
You can join
He
in.
wants your love.
Yeah,
she wants to be involved in the conversation. She has a dedication to diversity as
Gotta
well.
be represented.
they're always part of the conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah. Things are going pretty well. So right now, in regards to things with Division 45, what we're in the process of doing is we're trying to create, we're trying to create, so sorry, a survey essentially that is meant to kind of assess the dedication of the program itself to diversity. So in our, in our program, so there is a very significant component related to the treatment of ethnic minorities and things of that nature, and at the same time you find that there are some faculty who kind of enact that mission and some faculty who aren't particularly interested in that mission. So what we're doing is kind of creating this overall survey that assesses kind of the role of one's advisor and kind of supporting that research, also in regards to funding, knowledge about scholarships for first generation, I think minority students, LGBTQ students, also kind of a reassessment of our diversity curriculum to see how students are feeling in regards to even just kind of classes keeping up to date with socio-political events and kind of changes societally that are affecting these minority communities. Also assessing kind of routes of access for students who want to be involved directly in providing clinical services to minority communities. Santa Barbara has a very large Latino population. However, if you're interested in, say, studying African American populations, or I would say even Asian American populations, it's pretty hard to access those groups. So just kind of determining who may have resources available to aid students in reaching those populations that are not as visible in the community. And we're hoping to get that out actually by the beginning of March.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun survey work right there.
Yeah, and I think the hope would be actually that we could even go beyond the psychology department and kind of have an assessment of dedication to diversity that could go out throughout several different departments. So sociology is also very interested in it, and linguistics is interested. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I know Santa Barbara is a pretty big school. Yeah, I often forget that, at a small private institution up in Palo Alto. So I think reaching out and seeing how undergraduate populations also feel as well in regards to diversity issues on the campus is very important. Has there been any wonderful challenges to come with this, or just mainly trying to figure out what domains to assess?
There's been a lot of talk about what domains to assess, but I think the ultimate challenge will be who is able to kind of run the data and create the reports on it. So I think that there may be a university policy that people internal to the institution cannot actually analyze the data. So we're trying to figure out if we need some sort of external entity to look at the responses and then give us back some reports on that. We're not absolutely sure, because in the past this hasn't been a student-run initiative. This has been professors who were trying to do this. So I can see how there would be a conflict of interest there. So we're just in the process of trying to figure out more information about that.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, if there's anything that we can help with in terms of finding those external entities or helping out and supporting you emotionally,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
as well.
that would be great.
Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. I imagine such like school-wide assessments take a lot of time too.
Mhm.
Like at my small school, it takes a lot of time as well. So I can only imagine at a slightly bigger institution, what factors come into play.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it sounds like you've been doing a lot of
We're
fun work.
excited about it.
Uh,
We just don't want it to be like a 30-page long survey because a lot of people want a lot of things reflected. So
exactly. Are you thinking of doing like both like qualitative responses as well, like descriptives?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun stuff.
Yeah, we're hoping to get some good qualitative data out of it. A lot of open entry options for people.
Mm-hmm.
I think just another thing that we're being kind of cognizant of, and if other people have done like large scale surveys like this,
Mm-hmm.
there are some cases where, you know, there is only one member of an ethnic minority group or one member of an LGBT group
Yeah.
who are there, and there's a little bit of concern about people being worried about their responses somehow getting back to the department or like their faculty. So we're trying to we're trying to collect as much data and at the same time respect people's privacy and not make them feel like they're in a position where, oh, it's going to be very obvious that like person X will know that this was me because I'm the only Black person in the counseling department, you know?
Exactly.
So it's going to be
Yeah,
hard
'cause I
to have a
imagine.
demographic breakdown, I think, because
Yeah,
of that.
exactly. And it's like really, I think we have that at my school too, where we kind of did like kind of a diversity survey, and in terms of creating it, we were worried about, okay, what demographics do we really need to and are important to gather? Because those are still important things to gather as well. But then also looking at your small sample size, it's like, well, how much does confidentiality matter in this case, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, that is tough. How did we end up? I'm not sure if anyone else has any suggestions about that.
Can you make it optional to like
Right?
add those descriptives? Like, I think that's seems like the only, I mean, it would be great to have that information, but if they're not comfortable kind of being
Yeah.
singled out, but they can still provide the information, which I think would be valuable.
Yeah.
But maybe just not give away those demographic information or.
Yeah, right now we have it listed as being optional.
Right.
If you really pretty much any sort of like identity based component is like an optional thing. Like it's not going to prevent you from filling out the rest of the survey.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to provide examples of, you know, if you wanted to be more general, you could write like person of color or woman of color or something of that nature. That way it's a little bit more broad in regards to your options. I think the concern is just typically when there are diversity assessments, there are a number of students who aren't particularly concerned about diversity related issues. So they're going to score like 10s on everything.
Exactly.
And have a smaller group of students who have a lot of things to say and have some problems within the program, who feel like they can't respond because they're going to be so easily identified, right? So you end up having all of your ethnic minority students who are scoring very low on these assessments versus all the other students who are.
I think that's good information to get, though.
Yeah, it'll come out. It'll come across in the data regardless.
Yeah, but again, maybe in the consent form, like recognizing that, like, okay, we're obviously keeping this anonymous and confidential as possible, but whatever information you disclose in terms of demographics, just know, like, kind of like a caution. So do whatever you're comfortable with, kind of thing, because all we can get is consent. But we really want to encourage that information to get out there, because people are dissatisfied with it, and there is a difference between different races or different groups or anything. We want to know that means there's something there's an impasse, there's a break somewhere.
Exactly. No, I agree with that completely. I think that's a great idea to have some sort of kind of message or
disclosure,
say a warning, but just helping people be more cognizant of making their choices as they're filling out the survey.
Yeah. I guess also depending on how long the survey is too, you could have some sort of validity checks as well. Like some questions where it's like, oh, what's 5 + 5 = I have this whole huge like 200 question survey that I'm sending out. just for research. And like there's a couple of validity checks there, because at some point like people get exhausted, or you could also just make sure that they're putting the right effort that needs to be put in.
Yeah.
Because that's tough, but it might differ on your survey as well, because I'm hoping the people that are answering do want to provide quality responses. I guess that's what you hope for all research.
Anywhere, yeah.
I hope they provide quality responses.
We use time sometimes too. I mean, if there's like 200 questions and someone gets it done in like 5 minutes, we usually like cut those people. Like we did a validity study on that too, and it turned out pretty well in terms of there's not really accurate responses. So you don't want that to skew your data. So depending on how long it is, and then like, at the average time it takes to complete, kind of maybe, that's, I don't know, that's like the only other way that you can really like differentiate those.
All the fun
we're seeing if we can finalize our questions today, and then hopefully by the end of this week, one of us can just run through it and see how long it takes when you're giving, responses that are thoughtful. So if we can do that, then we'll have a better assessment of what's going on. Of course, you'll still again have those students who have like never considered any of these issues, and they're like, "It's great." So
anyway, not applicable. I don't have any thoughts. Yada yada.
And maybe even asking that, like, are these issues important to you? Have you ever considered them before? That might be a good like moderator. To see, like,
you could also something I think, and we do it a lot in my Black Women Scholars group, is consider emailing your survey to an outside source. So like either another campus rep who like may have some time to fill out your survey, or someone outside your community to see, one, if questions make sense, and two, if you're really getting the response you think, because sometimes we are so rooted in our university or in our context that like we send it out thinking everyone should know this like abbreviation or like idea, or like everyone should like know what essence we're speaking to, and then it just like doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I think that would be a great idea. I'm happy to send the survey out to like the listserv for anyone who wants to take it.
I actually think it would be great if we could have like a place where we could share resources, because like even like the logo we use, that took time, or like the outreach letter we're doing, that took time, and it would be great like if we had like a template already to kind of like, obviously people can make changes and everything, even like to the survey you're talking about, like people could make changes and then also implement that at their university.
That would be
as
great.
long as it wasn't copyrighted.
Does Division 45 have like a box account or something where we could share something like that?
Well, we have a go ahead. Okay. Well, the way my first thought was that we have our Division 45 campus reps Gmail account. We could just use Google Drive. I'm not sure how much storage we have, but I imagine there's not a lot of stuff already on there. So like at least amongst campus reps, that could be a division folder I can like create and send out to everyone, and we can drop stuff in, add stuff. I think that would be good. I'm not sure. We do have Dropbox as well for just kind of administrative stuff. I'm not sure if Daisy, you had a better option, but I know the Google Drive would actually be pretty open.
I feel like Google Drive would also actually be better, because we could make files shareable. And people could just download the file, and rather than like corrupting whatever file is originally there. And I'm actually thinking it may be a little extra work on you and Darren, but I would instead say like email your resources to them and they'll upload it into the Google. So then everyone will have that link. So then you don't have to worry about like accidentally deleting something, or if like and then if people rotate off of your campus program, then the link stays the same. Like it's not attached to someone's name.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. The only thing that I would want to make sure is that like whatever stuff that you upload there, that like it stays like under your like this ownership in a way, like it was made by this person, and I'll try and figure out a way to show like this, this resource was made by this person, and at least so they know in a way who has ownership. I imagine everyone on the campus rep committee is like super nice. That's what I imagine. But it would be helpful to know like this is where it's
either we could do it with either a header or a footer,
right?
Or we could do it with a cover page.
Right.
So like this resource belongs to University of Washington, and if you have more questions, contact these people. We can put your name and like your email address that you want as a contact.
Yeah. I mean, at least, and I'll check with my committee and our faculty supervisor, but my kind of hunch is that like I'm more than happy to share whatever we've created as long as it's not like someone's work or anything like that, because I think that would make it a lot easier for people to do more, because then they're less time like starting from scratch and more time like implementing and making it better.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can create that folder and share it out to everyone, and I'll send it out, and with like some preface and context of like, hey, here's this folder, use
what
it.
It is. Yeah.
This is what you can use this folder for. Really great suggestion. Yeah. I really want us all the campus reps to kind of have an idea of what other people are doing, because it varies amongst campuses in terms of the need for what the campus needs, what the population needs, the community, etc. It's important. It's even more important after, because you'll be working in different communities after the college life as well. Yeah, that's cool. Wow. What type of dog?
Can we see your dog?
Yeah, like I'm so curious.
Can you show it to us?
She's let me see if I can. She's a Belgian Malinois pit mix, so she's very big.
Okay. It's kind of like a smaller dog.
She was probably squeaking a toy or something?
Yeah, she's squeaking the toy.
Got it. Okay, I thought it was like, that's the dog noise. It sounds like a bird.
We had the same thought.
There's the wavelength right there.
So no worries. I thought it was one of the dogs that you just like hold up.
Little tiny dog. I'm so jealous. I really want to have a dog. I'm on my second year of my program, but my apartment complex has vanilla pets, so I just imagine them. And it's not enough. So that's hopefully when I graduate, that's when I'll get a good pupper.
In Santa Barbara, a lot of people seem to take advantage of the emotional support animal letter. So there's just like tons and tons of people with dogs.
Oh man, quick side story. We had that as well, but then someone got a pig in the dorm. A pig.
Like,
so they had to like
a teacup pig, just regular pig?
No, like an actual it was like a small pig, but it was I mean it was like this but it was like a pig.
Big pig.
So our facility, like our entire university, like we had to stop, like it had to be like very, very high need to be able to get those letters.
Wow.
Okay.
People got like sick and it was really bad. So I mean I respect that, but like it can go too far.
Pets restricted to dogs, cats, fish, birds. No bovine.
No farm animals.
Farm animals. For now.
We don't even allow emotional support animals at my university at all.
Yeah. See. Yeah. There's like different. Yeah. It's crazy.
And I get an email almost every day from a student who's like, "Hey, I was wondering if I could get this." I'm like, "Sorry, dude."
How do you get an emotional support letter? Is that from a licensed?
You can get it from
the licensed
from a licensed physician, or.
But usually, what ends up happening now is it has to be approved by the university. So at University of New Mexico, like say your physician's like, "Yes, you have anxiety, so you need a dog." Well, then you bring that letter to the counseling center, and then we review it as a staff. And like usually, that it's just not going to happen because it's like. Like
really,
we're like, also talk therapy reduces anxiety. So it's kind of like,
I mean, it's like we want to support, we want to make it easier, but a lot of times, I mean, people can take advantage of the system. So I do believe some people can really benefit from it. But
I really
kind of having,
I'll take
it. You should get one.
I'm not even in like a part of like housing with. I'm just like in a regular apartment, not a part of my university.
Doesn't Darren have No, Darren's in a different place than you.
Darren's in a different place. Yeah.
So he had that
I guess
puppy.
I can take spiritual ownership of this puppy, but for now, actually, so my partner got really into. This is also a side note. We were just hanging out talking. My partner is really into corgis, and she found this YouTube channel that's about like just spoiling this corgi, making like dog safe meals for said corgi, so like ramen for corgi or like sushi. It was really weird, but she got really into stuff. So for Valentine's Day, I'm getting her this little postcard, and it says "I love you with all of my butt." So,
I love how you wrote that.
Yeah, I didn't write it. It was them. It was like a printed card. So
Oh, it's
Yeah.
from them.
It's
Okay.
from this YouTube channel. Like, it's weird. It's so
That's so thoughtful, Gabe.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's not Pavlov the corgi, is
it's
it?
Pavlov the corgi.
Oh my
It is.
God.
They go here. They're in my program.
Yeah.
I see
Wait,
Pavlov
really?
every day.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Is it
Whoa.
Ryan? Yeah. No, not Pavlov. Sorry, no, it's
Oh,
Gatsby. Different guy. He's
okay.
up in the Bay Area. Sorry. Different
There's
corgis,
two.
but
There's
Different
two of
famous
these brothers. Oh my
I
God.
don't know. You can get really lost on YouTube if you just look up corgi videos. So you really,
This is what I'm very passionate about what we're doing because I feel like it's much more useful thing of time.
yeah, all
Right?
the corgi stuff. Oh
Than
gosh.
rather like spoiling a corgi like crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But interesting to watch. But in
It
terms
is
of time
absolutely.
that you dedicate
Oh, yeah.
to actually doing it would be a little.
Oh God, that's the first thing after, as soon as I graduate in the next 1,000 years. I'll get myself a dog.
It happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
it
Oh my
happens.
gosh! And so
Internship, it'll happen.
just
Yeah.
no, just so you know, one thing that just a side note, like
No, it's fine. Yeah.
so I worked at APA before, like when the crisis was happening and everything, and I worked with Nabil, and he was the director of APAC then, and like he just and they just did so well. Like it's balanced again. Like I feel like people do not have to be freaked out anymore, like in terms of like matching, because it was like the experience I had was like people were trying to sell themselves to me versus like I'm terrified that I won't get a spot. Like, it was so much less stress than I was anticipating. So I hope as long as it stays that way, like people should just like do your best and then like not, it's going to happen, you know, as long as you're like doing a good job.
Right.
So that's, because it was just crazy being scared for 5 years.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So
I'm
I
at
feel like
that.
people don't have to be scared anymore.
So as a second year, I'm at that point where I'm applying for like external practicum, to get that building up. So I'm thinking about internship, especially if I'm trying to graduate in 5 years. Like I'm thinking, okay, these are the places.
You have to think about it, but it doesn't have to be terrifying. Like it's might not happen, kind of.
That's validating. That's
Oh, and actually, I met a lot of people from Palo Alto, which I thought was really interesting.
From PAU, yep.
Yeah. So,
did you apply to any VAs for internship or?
All VAs.
Yeah, VAs. That I don't know something at PAU. Like everyone wants to go to a VA system. Did you apply to any California VAs? Out of curiosity.
I didn't because of your guys' licensing laws.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not touching that. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm like gonna make it. I go, Washington and Alabama and Florida were like my top ones in terms of easy to get licensed. I want to like go right after to like a position.
Yeah. That's why,
because I have a family and I have to support them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I did my master's in Boston, and I really wanted to start practicing when I came back to California, but the requirements to just even practice at like a master's level, like LPCC, MFT in California are so way different than like East Coast or anywhere out. California is just very strict. So it's like, I might as well just get all the classes I need within like my California program. Jeanette, I'm not sure if you're also experiencing this too, but all those wonderful, fun requirements. Are you considering staying in California after you graduate, or?
I'm pretty open to wherever I end up. I'm very anxious about internships, so I'm like, whoever will take me, I will just go. But
no, you're gonna have the choice. You guys are gonna have the choice. I'm serious. Like, you guys, what you've been doing and all of those things, like, no, you guys, and so apply for ones that are a little bit more competitive too, because of other things that you guys do. Because my issue is like, I wish I didn't apply to ones that were so low, because it was a little overwhelming to do so many. So I would do it. You guys are awesome. Like, you're gonna get it. I feel like no one ever told me that, so I want to tell people that.
Well, I don't know, like from day one at my program, like they set like a whole like timeline of what you should be thinking about for internships. Like we have a whole class on professional standards and like what to expect at Palo Alto. Like, you have to be doing this, getting the right hours, think about the right match. I'm like, oh, this isn't anxiety provoking at all.
It shouldn't be. I wanted to change because, like, especially with really good programs, like it should be something, of course, you're thinking about, but not something that you're terrified about.
Exactly.
So, if you guys, even in the future, have any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to help. Or that's actually something we're going to try to do like a panel discussion for people who are interested. This is actually for one of the diversity things for like graduate school, and then like what to expect.
Yeah.
And how to use your diversity factors to your advantage, but also to recognize that like if you go to certain places, like the university might be really great, but thinking about like the community as well, and like that should be an influencing factor and everything. We're teaming with Sci-Chi.
Nice. Sci-Chi. Yeah.
Sci-Chi. There you go.
Yeah.
I also said homogenous wrong before. My pronunciation right now is
It's
a little
fine.
off. So apologies. So yeah. Oh yeah. And then we're also do the panel for the internship thing, but those are fun.
They're interesting. Yeah, I like those too. Yeah, it's nice to hear like how everyone's internship application process goes.
It's different. Yeah, I can't assume that it was the same, but yeah. So cool.
That's awesome. So we've around 8 or so minutes left. But did anyone else have anything they wanted to address about like either campus rep stuff or any other questions? I mean, it's so great that we have like a wide variety of like experiences too, both like at internship level and kind of like coming in. Well, I'm still coming into this whole psychology thing. But it's really great to see such a diverse perspectives in terms of our professional timeline. Absolutely. Anyone have any other things they needed to talk about or any questions?
Well, I was going to ask you guys, so there's a new association that's been like kind of coming out in Amina side. I don't know if Division 45 has done anything with it yet, and if not, like I maybe wanted to like help get the word out. The Arab, Middle Eastern, North African Psychological Association. It was just like I went to at the ABA conference at a meeting with them, and like they're just starting to get new membership. I haven't seen anything with Division 45 yet, but they talked about like wanting to be interested and kind of collaborating or anything. So I just want to see if you guys had heard of them or.
Yeah, so Amina Sai actually is founded by Dr. Gigi Awad.
Gigi, yeah.
He is actually on the Division 45 Executive Committee.
That's what,
also the conference co-chair of the Division 45 conference. So
oh, great. She's amazing.
So she does, she's awesome. So she does a ton of stuff with us. She's actually one of my mentors.
Cool.
So they are slowly in the process of of working through getting their executive committee set and kind of cultivating their, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. Cultivating their relationships so that there's like a long pipeline of leadership. So they just got recognized by the federal government as like a nonprofit over the summer. And so that's why they were like having their like announcement party and like their whole process in Washington.
I'm so glad to hear that because I know that was like in the process, so I just wanted to kind of plant the seed too in terms of like doing collaborations and everything, because Arab Americans in 2020 we're going to be finally our own like box in the ethnic minority things, which can open up scholarships as well as like
so
recognize like hate crimes.
Dr. Awad just posted a link about that, about how because of the funding, the budget funding, that it was in compromise. So I wasn't sure like if they were
in terms of being added. I didn't hear that. That must have been recent.
I'll have to see if I can post it on the chat for you.
Man, I know that was a lot of work to do to get that.
Yeah, what was the name of the society again?
Listserv.
I'm really curious. What was the name of the association society that
Amina?
How do you spell
Amina,
that?
yeah. AMENA. And then
Psy. Cool.
Their website just came up too. I did not know that it was in comedy. See, I'm glad that I asked. So keeping up to date with that stuff. But yeah, that would be
so I know not everyone has Facebook and a lot of people are transitioning off. So we Division 45 student members have a Facebook group. And I try to post a lot of that stuff to the Facebook group.
Oh, great. No, I haven't. I gotta find that. Oh, could you put it on there?
Yep, I'll put that on the link as well. Because I know that there's so much stuff that comes through our listserv, especially when things are like controversial or like things are happening very fast. I also post like conferences on there and
wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I never heard of this society. Awesome.
Yeah. So it says AAI responds to rejection of the Middle Eastern or North American category for the 2020 census.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So I thought it had already went through, but maybe they was just something that but there was a rejection for it. Wow.
Yeah, apparently, well, in the current political climate, it's a little sketch.
Well, when that happened, like Middle Easterners didn't want to be separated from Caucasians because then they maybe would be targeted, or they kind of wanted to, but we don't look at Arabs and see them as white. So like in terms of like how they're treated, or like, in terms of being able to benefit from any scholarship programs or anything. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's political stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me know at least. I really want to know more about these organizations. Yeah, this is actually very important to know. Cool. So, okay, it looks like that's it today. Actually, I was actually just curious to get a sit rep on people. Is anyone actually considering going to APA this year?
Yeah,
in San Francisco? Sweet. Okay, so I'll be going. Dasa, are you go? You're going, right? Yeah. And I'm not sure of beer.
It will depend on where I match.
Exactly. Yeah.
And where I think I'm not making any plans until like hopefully
Start date.
Yeah. So I'll try and send out an email to campus reps like when we get closer to see if anyone's actually going. I'll be going because it's just a 30-40 minute drive. So
yeah, I hope you're going.
Yeah, I'll definitely be going. But hopefully we can meet up there. Jeanette, before we go, I wanted to say, do you happen to know Alyssa Hufana down in Santa Barbara? Yeah, she's my friend, my California friend. Well, I mean, we went to the same undergrad, but we didn't discover each other until like last year. They were both in Filipino American psychology.
Did you go to the AAPI conference?
Yeah, the AAPI conference and the Division of Filipino Americans conference. So tell her I say hello. I text her all the time, but I'm sure she'd be like, oh, hey.
I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
She could talk to you. She just actually did this workshop on like mental health stigma. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it went really well. So
yeah, I talked to her about it. Yeah, so but tell her I say that's my connection down to Santa Barbara. So it's nice to see you. But otherwise, I think that's it for our coffee hour coming near the end. Thanks everyone for coming. It was nice to hear everyone's updates about stuff that's going on at the campus. I will send out an email about the share box and like in terms of details and what to do with that, as well as any other information about like the APA conference to see if anyone else is going. But the next coffee chit chat we have is in March, I think March 4th, and I'll send out a Zoom link for that. Again, open invitation for anyone to come. If you have any updates, we'd love to hear them, but also just we can talk more about dogs too. So that's cool. Other than that, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, yeah, if you want to be featured on our Instagram, please send us that in, and hopefully we'll feature you on Wednesdays.
Great. All right,
awesome,
thank you.
Guys.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone. See you later.